Hi, I'm Winnie.
And I'm Tim.
And together we're ExtraLivesTV. We're here to give you the female and the male,
the hardcore and the casual perspectives on games for the iPhone, iPod Touch, and the iPad.
This is week 4 of our show where we give you our no BS thumbs up or thumbs down reviews of the games we've been playing this week. And this week, we've been playing multiplayer iPad games. So, let's get to game 1.
Yeah!
Gurlz vs Robots by Sticks and Stones Games is a retro-styled arcade party game where 2 to 4 players compete to get the highest score before time runs out. Points are gained by directing robots into your escape pod using arrows that you drag out onto the field. When a robot walks over an arrow, he turns in the direction the arrow is facing. To complicate matters, there are also girls. Evil, cootie-infested girls that enter the stage and destroy robots when they walk into them, and even worse, lower a player's score if they make it into that player's pod. Seems simple enough, right? Get robots into your pod, keep girls out of your pod. Well, when you factor in the other players all simultaneously trying to do that while also trying to steal robots away from your pod and force girls into your pod, it turns into chaos. Very, very fun chaos. I really like this game. I love frantically jockeying for position with my other players with my sharp knuckles. The retro art style is great, especially the main menu, which is a replica tabletop arcade cabinet complete with quarters and instructions written along the borders. Lack of a single player mode and more complete tutorial do drop the value of the game a tiny bit, but I mean, you're not supposed to play a party game alone. Plus, the game comes with 9 different stages for some added variation. Bottom line, very, very fun multiplayer experience. And on sale for 99 cents. Thumbs up. Winnie?
Every time I'm playing it, I'm learning new tactics. The replayability is fantastic, so thumbs up from me. Scrabble for iPad, made by EA, is a game I hope does not need an introduction. This iPad version of the game comes with 5 incredible play modes, so you'll never be bored. There's a single player mode, a Facebook mode, a local network play mode for 2 iPad devices, a pass and play mode, and the extremely ingenious party play mode. In party play mode, the iPad is essentially your Scrabble game board, and your tile rack is managed by your own iPhone or iPod Touch device through the free-to-download Scrabble Tile Rack app. Crazy, right? When you have that Scrabble Tile Rack app, just sync up the devices and have a Scrabble party of up to 4 people. So, how does this game rack up? Boy, do I have some terrible, terrible news for you. Unfortunately, Scrabble on the iPad works about as great as my iPhone on the AT&T network. Not only does it constantly drop our games, it lacks an autosave feature, so you can't even pick up where you left off. If you haven't bought the game, don't do it. The bugs essentially render this game unplayable. And until these major issues are fixed, I have to give this game a thumbs down. Tim?
Winnie, spot on review. There's just one thing you didn't mention, the $9.99 price tag. $10 for a broken game? You've got to be kidding me, EA. Thumbs down. Castle Bash by Touchgrove is a retro arcade game that is basically a clone of the classic Atari game Warlords, which itself is basically a multiplayer twist on the classic Atari game Breakout. Sweet, sweet Breakout. 4 players defend 4 walled bases in the 4 corners of the screen. You control the shield/paddle in front of your base and try to deflect the bouncing ball away from your castle towards the enemy castles, whittling down their walls until the ball can strike at the inside and eliminate the player. You can't go wrong with the game's tried and true formula. When you've got a full 4 players hanging around the iPad, it can be a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I do have some beef with the game. You can only play 1 player or 4 player. I don't get why. If you have computer-controlled enemies for a single-player mode, you can't have them in a 2 or 3 player mode? Playing 4-player mode and leaving 1 or 2 bases unmanned is a fine workaround, but I mean, come on. And this issue really speaks to an all-around sense of corner cutting with this game. When you're in tournament mode and a game ends and the next game starts, it transitions immediately. This can really easily catch players off guard. Some kind of 3, 2, 1 countdown or like a push to start feature would be useful. Also, just because a game is based off an older game doesn't mean you can't add your own refinements, perhaps alternate stages and layouts. Also, unlike the awesome paddle controller for the Atari, something about turning the corner with your finger on the iPad feels a bit off. Add to all of this a $2.99 price tag, which seems a bit steep for a clone. Thumbs down.
So normally I'm easily amused, but this game got very boring really quickly, so way the hell thumbs down. Real Network Inc.'s Party Place Marble Mixer is exactly as it sounds. It's a marble party. In this game, up to 4 players compete for the highest score in 3 different marble games. In the Space Mania game, you have a minute to shoot marbles for points onto a revolving donut-shaped platform, and you get points based on where your marble lands. At the end of the 1-minute round, you get additional points for the marbles that are still on the platform, so be sure to knock your opponents down. Table Tactics Games is very similar to Space Mania mode, except that each player takes turns shooting 10 marbles. The game is surprisingly simple, yet strategic, as you try to weigh the benefits between knocking out an opponent and trying to score some more points. Monster Picnic is by far my favorite marble game of the 3. Here you have a minute to get as many marbles into the mouth of a marble-munching monster. He spins quicker with each rotation, so get your marbles in early. The execution of this game is perfect. The graphics are high quality, the music is great, and the simple flick and shoot control mechanic feels natural. It's a seemingly simple game, but don't let that deceive you. Overall, Marble is fun, and at its current sale price of $1.99, it's a must-have. Thumbs up.
Marble Mixer is the game that represents what this show is about. It is the perfect combination of casual and hardcore, skill, luck, group chaos, all wrapped in a package that's just fun with your friends, no matter what level of gamer they are. Way thumbs up.
You know, there is one kind of weird downside for me in reviewing all these multiplayer like group games is it totally wreaks havoc with my like OCD neat freak craziness, like all those fingerprints.
Are you serious? Stop right there. It was so much fun having all our friends over, huddled around your iPad, just competing and pushing each other off of the bored and laughing.
No, you're right. Yes. You're totally right.
Yeah, I'm right.
I never said I didn't like these games. I just acknowledged the fact that the fingerprints drive me a little crazy. But you're right. Let's get my housemates and play some Gurlz vs. Robots.
No. Marble munching monster.
Okay, fine. Let's do it.
All
Bye,
right.
everybody.